Hi guys, Watch Fanatic here. Here we've got my Poedegar AliExpress £11 PRX Homage watch. And if you look on my channel, you'll see I've got the unboxing review video of this, which many of you have seen and commented on. And one of the last people to comment questioned why nobody has taken the back off and shown the movement. I thought I had done that, but I guess I didn't. So yeah, I don't suppose it's going to be anything amazing, but for people who really are interested in what movements are in these watches, let's see if we can get the back off and let you have a look at it. So I've had this quite a few months now. I mean, it's in beautiful condition, although I have to be quite honest, I haven't really worn it that often. I've worn it a few times, so it's not like I've given it any real hard time or anything, just a few evenings or days of wear. But it is a lovely looking watch. So to get the back off, I did have a look, and we've got this press-on backplate. And there's a couple of areas, there's a little notch there, but also looking around, I found a little area to get a screwdriver under there. So I think that's where I'm going to try. So I think the notch just tells you to line it up with the crown. I could be wrong. But if you can see just above my fingernail there, if this is zooming in, or focusing I should say, hopefully we can put a watch screwdriver inside there. I have got my watch case back removing tool, this very sharp knife, which I found is actually quite good for getting these pressed on backs off. But I may not need that because of that little notch. But sometimes where they have got nothing and you have to lever it off, you can buy a proper case back removing knife. But I haven't got one of those, but I find this does the job. You have to watch your fingers, obviously, otherwise you cut yourself pretty easily. Okay, some of these screwdrivers are better than others. I'm going to have an attempt with this one. This is probably going to end up scratching it. Yeah, I don't think that is fine. That one's a little bit too thick. I need... Okay, this one. These watch screwdrivers I've got, I bought from eBay. They're complete rubbish. And it's one of the reasons I haven't done too much work on watches, because you need a really good quality set of precision screwdrivers. The ones you get from eBay, they look the part, but the tips are never good enough to actually unscrew the tiny little screws that you get inside watches. A good precision set of watch screwdrivers, they're, you know, I think you can pay like about £100 for those. So I haven't done that, but that's what you need. So these cheap ones, sometimes you can file them up a little bit, which I've done. You'll probably see the end of that. I use a little bit of wet and dry to get that a little bit sharper, and that did manage to unscrew a crown stem screw on another watch that I was trying to fix. Okay, I think this is in it. It feels like it's in. So I'm putting pressure forward. Let's lever it. Hopefully it's going to pop it up. Yep, without scratching it. So that did the job. So that's the case back. It says it's 3 atmospheres, water resistant. It has got a little rubber gasket. I mean, this is an £11 watch, so I probably wouldn't put this in the water to test it. But it does look like it's got some kind of water resistance just from that case back with the gasket there. So this is the movement. Okay, let me see if I can zoom into this so we can take a look. And it was. Go on, focus. An SL28. SL28. So I don't know anything about quartz movements. You guys who do will probably look at that and immediately say, oh yes, that's such and such. I don't know if it's good, if it's bad. I mean, just looking at it, I've seen worse looking cheap quartz movements. Just looking at the kind of quality of it to a layman's eye, it all looks clean, tidy. It looks pretty decent quality. It doesn't look horrendous, but how it is as a movement, I don't know. But it is keeping extremely good time. I've left it running and it's spot on. So it's doing its job. And you've got that plastic spacer. So to change the battery on this, it would be pretty simple. I'd imagine just lift. Right, let me take the zoom down. Lift the plastic spacer off. And then you can get to the battery, which if you want to know what that is a, let's have a look, zoom in again. So if your watch stops and you need a battery, use this for reference before you even get the back off. You're going to need an LR626. I'd recommend you get a Renata because they're the best. So you can go onto eBay, put Renata in or put LR626 in and find out what the Renata equivalent is. And I would suggest you get that because they're the best batteries. Don't buy a cheap battery. It's not worth it. They're only a few pounds anyway. You probably spend about £3 maximum. So that would be easy to just pull that battery out and push a new battery in. Which I'll show you how to do now. Why not while we're down here? Carefully put a screwdriver underneath the battery and just lever it up slowly. It pops out. And then you just pop the new one in, bending the connector slightly as it pushes in, the ones that are around the edge. Now I've dropped it. Trying to do this at a funny angle with the camera, the phone in front of me. You generally just have to push it in with your finger to get it in place. Have a look, it's working. Pop the spacer back. And that holds the battery in place as well. You have to push it down a bit. And then to put this case back on, as I said, there was a slight cutout on the edge. As you can see there by my finger. That wants to align with the crown, I believe. That's what the purpose of that was. In fact, there is a slight cutout on the rim there for the crown. Well, that's what I think. yeah, on the inside for the crown stem, basically. So that needs to be lined up with that. And then you want to push it using, this is a tricky bit, get the crown stem, there we are, lined up. Like that. And then snap it back on. You've really got to get that lined up. Let's try again. Yeah. So you've got to kind of put an equal pressure around and then to the front. And it's popped back in place. Just double check. Yeah, that is in place. That's nicely pressed in. It takes a bit of pressure because you've got that gasket as well, so everything needs to kind of pop back in nicely. Some watches, so I had like a 1980s Omega DeVille, which was a quartz movement, and we had to get a new battery for it, and I managed to get the back off, but I couldn't put it back on again. Actually had to take it to the jewelers where they've got a proper kind of press where they put the watch in, they put the watch down there on a press and they screw down, and it's got a special size piece which presses evenly down. And without that tool, it would have been pretty much impossible to get the case back clicked back in. But most watches you should be able to do by hand, push it back in. Perhaps some of the more expensive ones you will need a proper watchmaking case back press tool. You can buy them on eBay for about £5, but I don't know how good they are. The ones they got in the jewelers are proper cast metal jobbies. So there you go. Let's give that a quick polish. That's the movement inside that you've seen, how to change the battery, what the battery was. To keep this really good value watch going, making sure that is pressed back in. Yeah, that's good. Anyway guys, hope you found this useful. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Take care.